The story begins with two clownfish named Marlin and Coral, who are eagerly waiting for their tiny bobbies to hatch from their eggs in the coral reef. Suddenly, a predatory barracuda fish attacks. In an attempt to stop it, Marlin hits a rock and becomes unconscious. When he wakes up, he starts searching for Coral and his eggs. But with deep sorrow, he discovers that Coral and all the eggs are gone. In a corner of the rock, he finds only one safe egg. He names him Nemo and promises that he will never let anything happen to him. After some time, Nemo grows up and insists on going to school. Meanwhile, Marlin remains very scared and protective of him. Upon reaching school, Marlin meets other fish. Knowing he is a clownfish, they ask him to tell funny jokes. In the meantime, seeing other kids having fun, Nemo tries to go near them. But Marlin, considering it unsafe, starts stopping him. When other kids ask about Nemo's small fin, Marlin tells them that one of his fins has been small since birth, and soon all those kids become Nemo's good friends. Just then, their teacher Mr. Ray arrives, and all the children rush towards him with excitement. Mr. Ray seats the children on his back, and Marlin, though very afraid, allows Nemo to go with them. As the teacher moves forward with the children, Marlin learns from other fish that today they are going towards the drop-off. Hearing this, Marlin panics and immediately runs after them. On the other hand, Mr. Ray takes the children to a safe place while explaining the depths of the ocean. But some of Nemo's naughty companions sneakily move towards the edge of the drop-off. Seeing them, Nemo also follows. There, they see a boat standing on the surface of the water. They challenge each other to go near the boat. Just then Marlin arrives there and stops Nemo by scolding him. Marlin angrily tells Nemo that he cannot swim properly and orders him to come home immediately. Although Mr. Ray explains to Marlin that the children are safe, Nemo, in his stubbornness to prove his capability, starts swimming towards the boat. Marlin calls him back repeatedly. But as soon as Nemo turns back after touching the boat, a diver suddenly catches him. Marlin runs after the diver's boat with all his might to save his son, and in this chaos, the diver's goggles fall into the water. Marlin chases for a long distance, but due to the high speed of the boat, Nemo disappears from his sight. After losing his son, Marlin starts shouting frantically in the sea and asks every fish about Nemo. Then suddenly he bumps into a blue fish named Dory. Marlin asks her about the boat in a panic. To this, Dory says with great excitement that she has seen the boat going in a particular direction and she can take him there. Dory starts taking him along. But after going a little distance, she suddenly starts running fast and turning back, yells at Marlin, asking why he is following her. Marlin is shocked and reminds her that she was showing him the way to the boat. Then Dory suddenly remembers and explains that she has short-term memory loss. Marlin feels Dory is joking with him and says irritably that his time is being wasted. He has to find his son. As Marlin tries to move forward from there, a giant and scary shark appears in front of him. That shark introduces himself as Bruce and says in a very friendly manner that you don't need to be afraid. I don't eat fish. After this, Bruce forcefully takes them into an old sunken submarine to meet his two friends, Anchor and Chum. There they hold a meeting like a military group and take an oath that fish are friends, not food, because they want to change their image by making themselves vegetarians. Inside the submarine, all the sharks introduce themselves one by one, and when it is Marlin's turn, his eyes suddenly fall on the diver's goggles that had fallen from the boat. He goes near the goggles in panic and tells the other sharks that his son Nemo is missing and some divers have taken him. Marlin sees that something is written on the goggles, and to read it, Dory starts taking him towards the light. In this commotion, Dory gets a slight injury on her face and her nose starts bleeding a little. Smelling the scent of blood, Bruce loses his mind and returns to his ferocious predator form. Anchor and Chum try their best to stop their companion Bruce, but he goes out of control and runs after Marlin and Dory to eat them. During the struggle to save their lives, both hide in a narrow hole. But during this chaos, a torpedo released from Bruce's mouth hits the sea mines. This causes a terrible explosion there. On the other hand, Nemo is shown locked in a dentist's aquarium in Sydney. Seeing the other strange fish present there, Nemo gets frightened. But they tell him to stay calm and not be afraid. When Nemo tells them crying that he has come from the ocean and wants to go home, they call a shrimp named Jacques for his help, who tries to clean Nemo and adapt him to the environment there. The rest of the fish in the aquarium tell Nemo that they were all bought from the market. They all watch the doctor operating on a patient through the window. Then a pelican bird named Nigel arrives there. Seeing Nemo for the first time, Nigel asks when this new guest arrived, to which the other fish reply that the doctor brought him from the ocean. The doctor immediately drives Nigel away from there, and showing Nemo a photo of his niece Darla, says that she is coming to take him on Friday. The fish warn Nemo about Darla, saying that she kills fish by shaking them. Due to this, Nemo tries to escape in fear and gets stuck in the aquarium's filter pipe. Then a serious fish named Gil arrives there, who, instead of helping Nemo, encourages him to come out using his own strength. When Nemo makes an excuse about his small fin, Gil shows his own torn fin and says it doesn't matter. Inspired by Gil's words, Nemo uses all his strength and comes out safely. Star, the starfish, tells Gil that Nemo has also come from the ocean just like you. On the other hand, after the explosion in the sea, when Marlin regains consciousness, he feels relieved to find Dory safe. But then, due to the ship's wreckage shifting, the goggles fall into the deep dark trench. Marlin is very sad because it was the only way to find Nemo. Encouraged by Dory, Marlin gathers courage and they both descend into that terrifying darkness. There they see a small, beautiful light glowing, towards which they are drawn as if hypnotized. In the depth of darkness, that glowing light is actually a part of a predatory anglerfish that lures prey with its light. As soon as the light starts moving, the anglerfish attacks Marlin and Dory. To save their lives, Marlin distracts the fish. Meanwhile, Dory tries to read the address written on the lost goggles in the light. Dory memorizes the address by putting pressure on her memory. P. Sherman, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, while attacking. The predatory fish gets stuck in the goggles strap. Taking advantage of this, Marlin and Dory escape from there safely. On the other hand, at night when Nemo is sleeping, Jacques and the other fish wake him up and call him to a secret meeting. They give Nemo a task like a fire initiation to make him a member of their group, which Nemo completes with his courage and becomes a part of their gang. Gil warns everyone that Darla is coming in 5 days and we have to free Nemo and save him from her. Gil tells his master plan. Nemo will have to jam the aquarium's filter machine with the help of a small pebble or stick. This will make the tank dirty, and the doctor will have to take all the fish out in plastic bags to clean it, giving them a chance to escape into the ocean. Nemo gets ready for this dangerous task. Meanwhile, in the sea, Marlin and Dory find a massive school of moonfish. Marlin tells them about his lost son and asks about the address P. Sherman written on the goggles. The fish, through their shapes, point out and tell them that to go to Sydney, they have to find a sea current while swimming towards the east. Marlin and Dory move forward in search of that sea current and reach a large trench-like tunnel. Marlin, feeling unsafe, advises Dory to go over the tunnel. But then they encounter a massive swarm of dangerous jellyfish. Marlin warns Dory that touching them causes stings and dizziness. However, Marlin soon realizes that touching the top part of the jellyfish does not cause a sting. Therefore, they both start a game of jumping over them and moving forward while avoiding their poisonous stings. Marlin comes out safely, but Dory gets stuck in the middle. Marlin risks his life to go back and brings the unconscious Dory out. But during this, they both come into contact with the jellyfish poison and start floating in the sea waves in a half-dead state. On the other hand, in the aquarium, Nemo is sad remembering his father. When the doctor goes out of the room, on Gil's instruction, Nemo gathers courage and enters inside the filter machine. Gil throws a pebble which Nemo, while scared, jams into the rotating fan. The machine stops and Nemo tries to swim out. But then that pebble slips from its place and the machine starts again. Nemo starts being pulled rapidly towards the fan, putting his life in danger. Gil immediately puts a decorative plant stem into the machine to support Nemo and inspires him to come out using all his strength. Nemo finally comes out safely. All the fish in the aquarium are frightened seeing Nemo's condition, and Gil becomes very sad realizing his mistake. On the other hand, when Marlin regains consciousness, he finds himself on the back of a cool sea turtle named Crush. Marlin nervously says that he has to go in the eastern direction. To this, Crush calms him down and says that they are all moving forward with the waves in that same direction. Then Marlin remembers Dory and goes to her. Their Dory is playing happily with the small turtle hatchlings. Soon all the small turtles of the sea gather around Marlin and ask about his journey. Marlin tells them how a diver took his son Nemo, and how he reached here fighting big troubles like sharks and jellyfish to save him. This story of Marlin's bravery spreads like fire from one turtle to another fish, and then throughout the entire ocean. This news reaches the seabirds, and flying along reaches the ears of Nigel the pelican. Meanwhile, in the aquarium, Nemo goes to Gil and apologizes for not being able to stop the machine. Gil consoles him, saying that in the rush to get free, he put Nemo's life at risk, for which he regrets. Then Nigel reaches that aquarium in Sydney and gives news to Nemo that his father Marlin is coming to find him, who has faced big troubles like sharks and anglerfish on the way. Hearing the story of his father's bravery, Nemo's self-confidence awakens, and he immediately picks up a pebble and goes back into the filter machine to jam it, making the whole tank dirty. On the other hand, the turtle crush drops Marlin and Dory near Sydney. There they lose their way in the thick fog and end up inside the mouth of a giant whale. In the aquarium, the fish make the tank completely dirty according to their plan, due to which the doctor is forced to decide to clean it, and Nemo becomes happy reaching close to his freedom. Meanwhile, in the sea, Marlin, trapped inside the whale's stomach, struggles to get out, while Dory, with great enjoyment, tries to talk to the whale in its language. This starts some movement inside the whale, and the flow of water starts increasing rapidly upwards towards them. The whale, in its heavy voice, signals them to go towards the depth of the stomach with the flow of water. But Marlin, being scared, stops Dory from going down because he does not trust the whale. Eventually, Marlin listens to Dory, trusts her, and they both jump down. Immediately after which, the whale ejects them from its blowhole with a high fountain of water into the waves of Sydney Harbor. Marlin and Dory reach that exact spot and start looking for the same boat that took Nemo. On the other hand, when morning comes, all the fish in the aquarium are stunned to see that the tank is perfectly clean because the doctor had installed a new and modern laser filter during the night. The doctor tries to catch Nemo, and Gil tells him to swim down to escape. But despite all efforts, the doctor catches Nemo in a plastic bag. At the same time, the doctor's naughty niece Darla arrives there. Meanwhile, in the sea, when Marlin and Dory are looking for the boat, a predatory pelican stuffs Marlin into its mouth. Due to this, he gets stuck in its throat. Seeing this, Nigel immediately reaches there and scares that pelican to get Marlin and Dory out. When Marlin tells him that he is looking for his son Nemo. When Nigel flies away with Marlin and Dory sitting in his beak, many predatory birds attack them on the way. But Nigel dodges them and reaches directly to the window of the doctor's clinic. Seeing the scene inside, Marlin's heart sinks because Nemo is pretending to be dead to save himself and is about to be thrown into the dustbin. On Marlin's request, Nigel enters the room and creates a commotion, causing Nemo to fall on the floor. But seeing him from a distance, Marlin feels that his son is truly dead. The doctor immediately pushes Nigel out and closes the window. Meanwhile, Darla picks up Nemo's bag and starts shaking it vigorously. Then Gil, risking his life, jumps out of the aquarium onto Darla. Darla, out of fear, drops Nemo down. Due to this, Nemo comes out of the bag. Using all his strength, Gil flips Nemo towards the sink drain, which opens directly into the sea. The doctor puts Gil back into the water, but Nemo successfully escapes through that dirty drain and comes out into the ocean. As Gil had said, all the sink drains open into the sea. On the other hand, Nigel, with a sad heart, leaves Marlin and Dory back in the sea because Marlin was fully convinced that he had lost his son. Marlin, drowned in deep sorrow, starts going back alone, while Dory tries to stop him, but Marlin leaves her there and moves forward. Then Nemo emerges from the depths of the sea and starts looking for his father. Meanwhile, he meets Dory, who has lost her memory again and is looking for someone herself. Nemo tells her that he is looking for his father, and both start the search together. Then suddenly Dory's eyes fall on the words written on a pipe that match the address written on the goggles, and she immediately remembers everything. Dory jumps with joy and finds out Marlin's path with the help of crabs. Nemo calls out to his father, and Marlin, seeing his son alive, runs to him. The father-son reunion was not even complete when a large fisherman's net falls and hundreds of fish, including Dory, get trapped in it. Nemo jumps inside the net himself to save Dory. Marlin stops him out of fear, but Nemo explains to him that if all the fish swim downwards together, they can break the net. This time Marlin trusts his son completely and encourages all the fish to push downwards. With the collective strength of the fish, The heavy net breaks and everyone is set free. However, in this struggle, Nemo gets crushed under the net and becomes unconscious, making Marlin panic. But in a short while, Nemo regains consciousness. In the end, Marlin and Nemo happily return to their home. Now Marlin has become fearless regarding Nemo and sends him to school.